Hello guys, welcome to the second module where we'll be looking at now the headlight restoration business itself. So let's go straight into it. As you can see, just give me a minute, let me set this up correctly. Perfect. So here, this is understanding the headlight restoration business. And this is what we're going to cover. What is headlight restoration? What causes headlight degradation? Different methods of restoring headlights, understanding the importance and demand for headlight restoration services, identifying the potential market and target audience for business, analyzing competition. So, what is headlight restoration? Simply put, it's just making an old or dull or faded or oxidized headlight new again. All right, that's what headlight restoration is. Okay, what causes headlight degradation? Now, for that, there's a lot of things. A headlight may be dull or faded because of damage. Either the seal was not put in right when changing the bulb, or it has physical damage when there's an opening where dust can go through, or there's condensation, all these things, or it's cracked. So all those issues can make headlight look dull. But for majority of the headlights, if a headlight is intact and good condition, the main issue is the sun. The sun is what breaks down the protective layer on the lens and hence it gets faded. Now it's a very common issue for aged cars. Old. That means old cars. So any car, maybe from 3 to 5 to 8 years, depending on your environment, or they'll start having faded headlights. And this is basically because of the exposure to the sun. Like I said, it breaks down. Uh, it just exposes the lens to UV light, which breaks down the layer and causes oxidation. Oxidation is just basically that yellow layer that you see on the headlight. Sometimes it can be white, but mostly it's yellowish. That's what causes the sun is what causes oxidation to occur. Now, different methods of restoring headlights. So there are many ways of doing it, but they fall under two categories: the DIY category and the professional category. Now, the DIY, let me just check my notes here. There's so many options. We have the toothpaste method. We have the baking soda and vinegar method. We have the WD-40 method. Now, the toothpaste method works well. It's a good hack. I've tried it and it works in and helps you temporarily, but you'll be doing that consistently for a very long time. If you want your headlights to be better. And the main problem with that is that, first of all, it doesn't remove oxidation effectively. So there's always a layer left that still makes the headlight look yellow, and there's no protection. So you have to keep doing it over and over and over, which is not effective. So I've been there, done that. So that's how that goes. Now, baking soda and vinegar again works the same way as the toothpaste method. The main issue here is that you're trying to create a compound which has granules, and that's what makes these processes effective. The baking soda, once mixed with vinegar, has granules which can remove a layer of oxidation from the headlight. Same as toothpaste, specifically the white toothpaste, which has again granules on it, which same way they clean the teeth is the same way they will clean the headlight. That's what helps you. But now the problem is that's what helps you remove the oxidation. But the main problem there is that there's no protection, so it's not effective, and the oxidation or the dullness will occur again, right? That's why those are the main DIY processes. And the WD-40, yeah, it's been used. People say it's a hack, but WD-40 itself is a lubricant. It's a lubricant, and it was made mostly to be able to, you know, lubricate areas with the rust for bolts and all that, so it may be easy to open. That's the main use of it. Now, As a lubricant, how does it help headlight restoration? It helps it because it creates a layer that's glossy on the headlight. Now I don't know how it necessarily it removes a slight layer of oxidation, but it does. But still, it's not enough because if you wipe it, yes, the headlights looks glossy, but that's the WD-40 that's looking glossy. So the headlights, as soon as that fades away, you're back to where you started. So yeah, it helps a bit, but still not the best way to do it. Now, the best way to do it for a DIY would be to use a headlight restoration kit. That's the best method. Now, the kits, they also come in varying in different shapes and shape sizes and methods. But what you need to look out for in a good headlight restoration kit is that the kit itself should have enough sandpapers for you to be able to remove oxidation. Now, sanding is the best way to remove oxidation. Not rubbing, not doing anything, but sanding, because that layer is thick and it's well caked onto the headlight. In order to remove it effectively, you need to sand it down. You need to sand it down, and hence you need to use a sandpaper. So a good kit must have sandpaper and a UV sealant. That's the best method. So here, as a as a DIY, the best option you have is a good kit that has sandpaper and a UV sealant. UV sealant to protect, sandpaper to remove the layer. Now, the best sealant I've seen currently as I speak in 2023 in September. The best one I can see is Sylvania. Now, I'm not sponsored by Sylvania Headlight Restoration, but it's the one that I've seen the result. There's a good video on how the way this thing works and how it covers compared to other headlight restoration kits. And Sylvania always comes up on top. So I'd recommend that to anyone who wants to do a DIY option. And now okay, to summarize the DIY process, just go straight and get a good kit. Okay, one with the sandpaper and UV protection. The same principles that I used in professionals, but used by professionals, but now on a smaller scale. Because now, if a professional comes with a kit, there's no need for the professional. You understand? Hence, the kits are made. So for the professional, there are two main ways that it's done. One is polishing, which is very effective because they sand and they polish, so that removes the oxidized layer and restores the headlight. The main issue with that now is left with is a protection, which yeah, you can spray the headlight after that, but I don't see the need for polishing. And if you apply ceramic coats, nano coatings, and wax, they don't help they don't last as long as the second option, which is applying clear coat or sealant or something of the sort. So the polishing way is okay, but the main issue is that it's the protection is what will determine how long the headlights will last. Okay, so that being said, let's look at the next option, which is sanding and applying clear coat. Now, I have not seen a process that's superior to that. Even with polishing, it's very much dependent on how you polish and all those things, the compound that you use, and whether the headlight is clear. But with clear coat, it just creates an entire new layer uh, on top of the lens, and that's why it gets superior results compared to anything else. Now, are there specific clear coats for headlights? Yes. Meguiar's, I think, makes one, and I can't see the main. It's not that far off from 2K clear. 2K clear coats are the best. It's what I use, and it's what I would recommend. Now, um, some guys might argue with that, but I can only tell you my experience. Okay, from the things that I have and I've been able to use, 2K Clear provides the best option and alternative for me. Because if there was some product that I could use specifically for headlight restoration, I would have tried that, but it's not available in my market, and hence I use 2K Clear. If you have a superior product, well, then go ahead and use it, and you still be on your way to creating a good service for your business. And that's what we want at the end of the day. But speaking from my side, it's 2K clear coat is what I use. It's what's available. I can't find anything else superior to it. And hence I use it. So that's what I recommend. Okay. So that's how you restore headlights professionally. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one, which is understanding the importance and demand for headlight restoration. This is quite important because that's what the business is based on. Now, personally, in Nairobi, Kenya, majority of the cars that are on the road have degraded headlights. If I just take a random errand or just while doing my errands or moving from one place to another, I will never miss a car with dulled headlights. So it's such a huge market here because majority of the cars that come here are 8 years plus in age. Yes, for the new ones, there's nothing much you can do, but the sun here is so harsh that within a few years, those headlights will get and they will need restoration. So the market here in Nairobi alone is huge. Now across the country, it's even bigger. Now that's why this course is going to help some of you guys in order to be able to offer these services in your respective areas as a professional. So that's in this area. In other markets, that might not be the case because you're used to buying newer cars. Maybe you can receive the latest version for whichever car you wish to buy. And that comes with new headlights, and hence it takes time for there to be demand for that kind of service. Now, that's so for as far as demand is concerned, just check and see if in your daily activities whether you see a lot of cars with faded headlights or not. That's one way to saying it. Secondly, you can also analyze the you can analyze queries and see if people ask. Like let's say how many businesses are there that offer headlight restoration services. So that comes at analyzing the competition, which is a point here as well. You can analyze how many businesses offer headlight restoration services. Also, on top of that, if it is a pain point that you relate to, also counts. If it's some problem that you have, then there's a high chance someone else has the same problem and wants a solution for that as well. So you can go on and do and offer that service. So analyze the competition. Just check. There are no statistics for faded headlights, at least from where I am. So it's all by checking and seeing how prevalent the problem is, and also checking how many guys offer the service. Because if there are not many, then it might be an opportunity for you. And if there are not many, because the market is small, then it might not be worth pursuing. So just check on those, then you can deduce whether it's worth it or not. The most important thing here is to have a big market that wants that service. Okay, so that no matter how many competitors come, you still can be able to survive with or without them. All right, so identify the potential. The next step is identify the potential market and target audience for the business. So what you want is car owners that have faded headlights. Now, can you go commercial on this? Yes, you can. Maybe a company has a fleet of cars, but now you'll have to negotiate. Companies are much difficult to deal with because company owns a company can own the car, but they don't drive the car. That's where the main problem comes in. A company can own the car, but don't drive the car. The driver is who drives the car, and not the company. So the company would not see the necessity of having the headlight restored. The main target here can be car owners because they own and drive the car. So they want to take care of the car. Hence, it's a pain for them and they want a solution for that. Okay. And those are the guys that you want. So for private vehicles, those are ideal for that. Now, if regulations require commercial cars to have clear headlights, they know that's also an opportunity, which here most people don't concern themselves. Most commercial cars don't concern themselves. As long as they can be able to be on the road, that's all that counts. So on my end, I would target vehicle owners, private vehicle owners, and establish myself as an authority so I can be able to offer the service. Now, as far as the market is concerned here, the potentiality of the market, like I've said, I've seen a lot of problems with that. Here, cars are aged, and from witnessing, and I've also worked on a lot of cars. So the market is big enough for me to make a living out of it, and also big enough for other people to come and get a living out of it. Analyzing the competition. Okay, this is important because depending on how big the market is, you can you can analyze the competition and see whether it's saturated or there's still an opportunity. That's why it's important to analyze the market. Analyzing the market helps you know whether it's saturated or there's an opportunity. If the market is big enough and still no one is offering, no, and still the competition is low, then there's still an opportunity for you. Now, here the main issue is that market's big enough, yes, but people lack the knowledge. They lack the information on headlight restoration. Most people don't understand that a headlight can be restored in a specific way so that it becomes new again. So you're always competing with people who have inferior services. But it's also an opportunity as well for me because of the inferior services. Someone else will come because of their frustration on that service. They will opt to try me. So it ends up being like a marketing thing for me because someone will offer an inferior service and I offer superior service, and they will opt to come to me because of their frustration, and I will solve the solution. I will give them the solution. So that helps. Another thing to note about the competition, yeah, one is what kind of service they offer, is superior or inferior, whether it's saturated or not. Okay, that's also important. Whether it's saturated or there's a big opportunity for you as well also matters. And what else about the competition can we say? Uh, yeah, also their business. If the competition has business, and if they are, and you can just see by the traffic they have, the reviews they have, the content that they post on social media, that can inform you whether they are busy or not, even by checking their number and giving them a call. You can ask how soon can you get the service, and by that you can be able to tell how busy they are, and you can be able to see whether there's an opportunity for you or not. Because if they are busy, then if you open, there's a high chance you might not be as busy as them, but you won't lack customers. So that's why it's important to analyze the competition. One, it tells you potentially how the market is. Two, it informs you of how they offer their services. It might be inferior competitors, which means it's an opportunity for you, and whether it's saturated or not. Okay, so that's the importance of analyzing the competition. Well, that's the end of this module. So I'll see you in the next module. Cheers.